I definitely want to congratulate you on your recent victory over Douglas Lima. Great fight. Awesome fight from the beginning to the end, man. It's fantastic fight against a very, very tough opponent. I think he's one of the most underrated welterweights in the world because he's so good, but he hasn't got the attention of a lot of the other welterweights like in the UFC and other places. And you just dominated him.
Yeah, well, he looked big. He looked big. He was the same size as me.
For sure he was.
To be honest, I looked a little bit chubby also. My weight cut wasn't that great in that fight because of the quarantine. I wasn't be able to train as much as I wanted, so I trained less. I was a little bit chubbier. I had a difficult weight cut. Looking back at the tape, I thought I wasn't ripped as I should have been. But he was a big welterweight. It was a big welterweight, so I don't feel like I beat a welterweight. I feel like I beat a true big middleweight. So,
Absolutely.
Maybe I got 3-4 pounds over him. 3-4 pounds is not decisive to say, well, I had the advantage,
It didn't even look like that, and I didn't mean it in that way. I just meant has been so dominant in that division. Obviously, when you go up in weight, you've went up in weight to heavyweight. So, when you get to a certain weight class, you're that fighter. That's who you are. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what you fought at before. I fought Joe Riggs, who fought in heavyweight all the way to welterweight. It's like these guys fluctuate. Rumble Johnson. It doesn't necessarily mean he can only fight in one weight. And the way you fought him, and the way he fights, and the way you fight. Weight doesn't matter so much, if I'm correct in saying that. It's a striking battle. Weight is almost sometimes a disadvantage depending on when you take into account speed and reflexes and movement and footwork and things like that.
Yeah, I think he's a guy who is in his prime,
Absolutely, and that's another thing.
Recent losses, he avenged them. He was in his prime. He won the tournament. He beat some really good names. So that was a guy in his prime with a lot of confidence. So it meant a lot to beat him, But could have done better? Yeah. Should have gone more for the wrestling because I was successful taking him down. But my corner was saying, don't take him down, So things like that. But I feel like he knows he could have done better, So... Yeah, but, beating a guy like that, I think is underestimated as a welterweight. I think he's going to be champion for a long time also. So it felt good. It felt good to have a win over him. And then, but the next fight, I have to go, be more aggressive and finish the guy, As a fighter, you want to be able to finish the guys. I say, that's, if you finish guys, your next opponent... You also beating your next opponent. You know what I mean?
Yep, I get
Let's
you.
say if you're finishing guys, your next opponent is impressed. Your next opponent will have better. It will give you more respect. So I think, and you want to be the dominant champion. So that's my goal for the next fight, actually.
Yeah, I think with your resume that you're going to have respect no matter who you fight. Looking back at that fight, though, just really fast, one thing I noticed that you do so well, not only in that fight and other fights, though, you really utilize your feints. And I think that's underestimated in the sport. I think you can really throw people off by using those feints, be it kicks or be it shrugging your shoulders for a punch or whatever. It really took him off his game, I think, and it had him backing up, especially in that first couple rounds. For pretty much almost the entire fight, he was backing up. But a lot of it was because of you feinting more than even the striking, because he just didn't know what was going to come at him at any given time.
Yeah, I had the first round. I took him down. I think the first round, I gained the respect. I did some really good ground and pound. I hit him with a couple of good elbows, and then his face expression didn't change at all. And then he didn't get cut. He has the skin of a crocodile. So I felt from the first round, I thought, okay, this guy is here to stay.
Yeah.
This is not a guy I'm gonna put away just like that. So I hit him a couple of times well. I think that set the mentality of the fight, how it would go to the next couple rounds. So round 2, 3, 4, he didn't really went for it. You know what I mean? And I was satisfied just winning the round. So I think the first round was very important. Because I was successful in the stand-up, I didn't really go for the takedowns, which I should have, because from the 8 takedowns, I got 4. So I could have done better, and there was no real danger for me. for guillotines or getting caught coming inside, because I was fainting and it was near the cage. So I should have been more relentless in that. As a fighter, you're a perfectionist. You wanna do well.
Absolutely.
Those are things that I thought that I did wrong, and next time better.
when you're a good fighter, you're a perfectionist, and I think that's why you are a perfectionist. There's a lot of fighters I think that aren't, and that's why they're not as good. But you critiquing yourself as harsh as you are about a fight like that against an opponent like that shows you that you are a very, very, very much perfectionist.